Stremavicious moves his king to e3, and the position looks winning for white but is unbelievably deceptive. Wesley So is actually equal here. He can get a draw. It's a very complicated way, because it feels like, for example, if you move the king, white king comes up, you lose both the pawns, then the bishop can protect these pawns. It's winning for white, it looks like it. But there is an amazing defense that is there in the position. Wesley So, can he find it? He doesn't have much time. He has 1 minute left on the clock, and from his body language it almost feels like he is not going to be able to find it, but he has to try. He has to try. In fact, in this position, king g5, king h4, king h5, all these moves draw. But of course you have to find the idea that wins here, that draws here. Oh, and he resigns. He resigns in a drawn position. Why did Wesley So do that? And what is the way in which this position can be held? Well, I sat down with GM Harshit Raja, and together we tried to break down the position. So Harshit, we just saw this amazing game between Wesley So and Stremavicious.
Yes.
And in this endgame, there were very key moments. And I think this video, we want to kind of
break it all down.
Break it all down. Right?
Because many people are wondering, firstly, how did Stremavicious win, creating one of the biggest upsets of round 2? Secondly, why did Wesley resign in a drawn position according to the machine? So let's try to break it down. This was one of the critical positions. There are many. This was the start of it. This is actually draw. What black needs to do is wait. He needs to wait because he has an asset. Whenever the white king tries to go to d3 and c4, h3 g2 will be a very strong idea, trying to promote the black pawn to a queen.
So even if, let's say in such a position, I keep my bishop here, the point is you cannot really freely go with your king here, because I can come in here, or even I can come here and play h3.
Exactly.
So in a way, what is the point is that if we just keep waiting like this, we have two threats. If the white king goes like bishop g2 and tries to win these pawns,
we go there.
We can go here and win these. While if white king goes that side, we can go here. So in a way, Wesley would have not lost, and it would have been tie breaks.
Exactly.
If he would have just waited king d6, bishop g2, king e5.
I think I don't know if he believed that this was a draw or not, because I think during the game, he kind of thought that this is already lost. It's not lost yet. He played this move pawn to h3. This was a grave mistake. After pawn to h3, this is mathematically losing for black because of this beautiful move bishop d7, forcing the black pawn to play h2. Because if we play g2, I will play king f2, chop the pawn on h3, g2 ka pawn tata bye bye. White is completely winning.
And you are not in time to win these pawns. Like let's say you go king d4. Here
I take.
You can take. I try to come.
If you go king c4, I give you a check. Very important move. Check.
Stopping this, and then taking this.
And then take the pawn on g2.
And if I come here,
then I can give bishop f5 check.
Again stopping this.
The c2 square, exactly. And this is winning for white.
Eventually.
b3, a4, and
right.
Winning
and also
for white.
The fact that this is a light square.
That's super important.
It helps in many lines.
The a pawn, the queening square of the a pawn is of the same color as the bishop on e6, and this is winning for white. So let's come back to this critical position where h3 was played, bishop d7, forcing the black pawn to go to h2, and now of course we go back bishop c6, because now black no longer has this idea of going pawn to h3 and g2, which means that we can put our bishop on g2. Firstly, let's not forget that when the pawn goes to h2, it loses control of the g3 pawn, which means that the white king is closer to capturing the g3 pawn. So after h2 bishop c6, Wesley tried to go king d6, back. Let me try to go king c5.
And now he's coming here. So if you try to go here, he'll draw. So he played this very nice move.
Stremavicious played b3.
Square.
a5.
a5 with the idea of a4. And then let's say, for example, a4, if you take king c4, king b3. So that's the reason why he played king d3.
So Wesley came back king d6, king d4. He's now saying that let me try to go king f5. Stremavicious
stop
stops
it.
that. He went king f6.
I think b5 was played, no? Like for example here, when in this position, after b3.
King d3, b5 was first played.
Yeah.
Bishop f3.
Yes.
He now came back king d6,
King d4.
king e6.
Yeah, and bishop e4, king f6, king d5, king g5.
Exactly.
So now he's coming here.
So he
and king e5.
shoulders it.
Yeah.
King g4, bishop g2, king to g5. And again, we reach a second critical position in the game,
Yes.
where white should have just played something like king to e4
Right.
and try to win this pawn via f3. So let's say you go king g4.
So now there are two defenses for black. One is to keep the king here. The other is try to come this way and try to win this pawn.
Correct.
So let's say I try the first defense, which is trying to come here.
Okay, let me go king f4.
Yeah, and I'm too slow,
You're
right?
too slow. Because now you can go king e6. I take the pawn and you cannot go king d5 as well because my bishop controls it and you're just one move too slow here because of king takes pawn, king d4, and I just play a4. Very important move in this position.
Can I do a4 here?
You can, but then I will take, or even b4 is okay.
King b4, king d4, bishop f1, king here,
Bishop takes pawn
king b3,
and just chop this
take
pawn on
and
b4.
wins.
Yeah.
Right.
So coming back to this position here. So he should have played this move king to e4.
King e4. Now I try to remain here.
The second defense, right?
King
I go
E3.
king e3.
King g5,
Okay, let's say I go king f3,
king h4.
king f4.
And now this position is lost because you're going to lose these two pawns.
Exactly.
Here there is a tricky move, h1 queen.
Yes. You can make a queen. I will chop that queen off.
King h3. Now I want to maybe play g2.
Exactly. But now I can go king e5.
Are you just trying to win this?
I'm just going to give my bishop because my king is too close to these pawns now.
Right. Also, alternatively, you could have come here.
King
This
f3.
should also win.
This should also win. Bishop g2.
Because this is a stalemating idea, but now he has a move, some move which
And which will help white.
will help white. So
Again, let's come back to the basic position here after bishop g2. So this was the winning plan. The winning plan was to go king e4 and try and put the black king in zugzwang to win these pawns. Instead,
he played a4,
a4.
which was the chance that Wesley needed
This was
to remain in the World Cup.
exactly. But he didn't realize this.
Yeah.
He thought he still lost. And instinctively, he did find the right move. He played pawn to b4 here. This is the best move.
This is the best move. Because if you take, it's losing for black.
It's
we'll
losing.
come to it later.
Yep.
b4.
b4.
And
White
Wesley-
played king e4, Stremavicious, king g4, and after king e3, the most unthinkable thing happened in this tournament because Wesley resigned in this position,
And
but
was
it's
out of
actually
the
a
World
draw.
How can a player who is top 5 and top 10 in the world resign in a position that's drawn
Not
and be
approved.
out of out of the World Cup? So basically what Wesley thought is that he's going to lose these two pawns. So let's understand Wesley's thinking. He thought maybe I'll go king f. So two defenses. One is stay here,
Which is-
or other go here.
Let's go king h4. That's the best.
Okay.
King f3, right? And now I have this fantastic idea of making a queen. You take, I go king h3. If you go bishop g2, king h2, and now
So two things here. One is I can go check, or I can start going with my king here to win your pawns.
you can try this as well. Just to conclude this, the point would be that in this position, king g3, this is a stalemate.
Wow.
This is a stalemate, this is a draw.
So this Wesley missed, I guess, this stalemate pattern.
And the other idea that you were mentioning, king e4,
King e4, g2.
g2, I have to take, king here, king here, king here, king takes, and this is a draw. This is a draw because let's say I play here, takes, push, and queen, queen, 2 queens on the board. This is an easy draw.
Yeah.
And this is the whole point. This is the whole point that when, let me just put back the position for reference. The whole point being that with the pawns on a4 and a5 present, like, you know, the king is very close to the b3 pawn. If these pawns were not there, the king has to go one more move to attack the a4 pawn, and that one tempo is what makes it winning for white. This is why having the pawns on b3 and b4 is a draw.
Well, there is more depth to it.
Of course.
Actually. Because here, if you look at, by the way, a simple variation of king f5, king f3, king e5, king g3, king d4, king c3, this wins for white actually. So, in a way, black can never go this way to win. But,
To draw.
to draw. Black can never go this way. So, black has to wait.
With king h4.
King h4, king f4, and now this move is a draw.
Mechanism, yeah.
Is a draw because of the stalemate pattern. And if you go this way, then this is weak.
Exactly.
Now, let's say in the game, so I think that concludes the analysis of b4.
b4.
What is very interesting for us is that in this game, in this position, when he played a4, if black takes, and king g4, sorry, it was...
Yeah, takes, and now let's say you play king g4,
king e4,
king h4,
king h4,
king f4 is a draw. Again, king f4 in this position would be a draw because h1 queen.
Yeah.
And this one is a draw. Takes, king h3, king e4, g2.
Now two defenses, one is this, and here you have the stalemate idea.
Correct, with king h2, king g1. This is a draw.
This is a draw.
Correct.
And the second one can be...
In this position, king e4.
You are trying to go there.
But let's say g2, takes, king d5, king f3, king c5, here, takes, and well-known opposition, it's a draw.
So then, it seems like white draws even here, in this line. This position.
No. But after king...
So king, it was here, like a4, ba, ba.
King g4.
King g4, king e4.
King h4.
Yeah.
But I won't go to f4. I will play this move king to e3.
And now it's very important because my king is here. You can't go h1, takes, king h3.
Because I'm one move too fast.
One move ahead.
If it was on f3, I would go to e4. But now because it's on e3, I can go to d4. And now this is just, you know, easy winning. Takes, very important, king b5, even king b6, just shouldering and promoting the pawn.
So no time.
So after king to h4, king e3.
So king e3 keeps an eye that side.
Exactly.
And so black says, okay, I don't do this business.
So let's say you
I
go
wait.
king g4. I will go bishop to h1. Let's say you go king h3, threatening g2. I will play king to f3 now.
Because if g2, I can simply
just
take
take.
and then come back. So that's not good.
So you go king h4.
King h4.
I'll go king g2 now.
King g2. This is weird, yeah?
This is weird, but I have a plan. You go king g4. I will play king to f1 now.
And basically, I have two plans. I can go this way and I can stay here. If I go king f this way, it's too slow.
Bishop b7. King g2. King takes. King c5. And here again, the story of one tempo. White is winning here because he's in time to protect the pawn.
So then, I have to remain here. Right, king g4, king f1, king g4,
King g2.
king g2.
No. Yeah, king h4. Let's say, okay, king g4 or king h4. We still go
No,
king
we
g.
looked at king h4, right?
Yeah.
King g2, king g4. Sorry, how was it?
Yes.
So here,
So in this position, king h3, I play king f3.
yeah,
King
King
h4,
h4.
king g2,
right. King g4,
king f1.
yeah.
And no matter what
And
you
now
do,
I'm not going here, I go here.
my plan is simple. Play bishop b7
Yeah, I have to go back
and I play king g2.
and I stay here
And now I can just play a waiting move.
or, yeah.
If you go to h4, bishop f3 wins, right? Because now the king has no square and I just pick up the pawn next. If instead you go king to f4, very cool idea now. Not bishop f3. Bishop f3 you lose, h1 queen. You lose. But now this fascinating move king to h3.
Is it necessary?
It's nice. It's
I mean,
nice.
I can wait, right? This should win or not?
I mean, at some point you need to lose control.
So let's say, for example, here, king g4, check, king here.
I mean, yes, you can, but this is simple, right? Just king to h3. Forcing black to lose a pawn. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And now the king moves. I take the pawn, I take the other pawn, and bishop c6. So the whole point is that whenever in this position we have the pawns on a4 and a5, we need to bring the white king to g2.
Yeah, this is very weird. Yeah,
That's
like this way or this way. Like either put the bishop on h1 and come this way, or bring king here, play bishop h1 like this.
King g2, exactly.
But this is just too difficult to understand, and it actually, this idea stops this stalemate idea.
If the king is on e3,
Yeah.
very important that the king does not go on the f4 square here. If you play king f4, h1 is a draw. We want the white king to be as close to the a5 pawn so that we are flexible.
Right, and this also we can do.
Exactly.
Come from here. But the problem with such a position is that you can never do this,
Because
as we
it-
just discussed.
Yeah, we're
because
too
the
close.
king comes here and takes it.
So this was basically the reason why Wesley So decided to resign, because he did not understand this, I think, stalemate that of giving the pawn away and king h2, king g1. Lot of nerves when they are playing at the World Cup, and this is how Stremavicious made it to round 3.
Yeah. Also, I think a lot to learn from this endgame. Even if you don't understand it fully, I would suggest sit with it for some time. I think you will get to understand a lot of depth in it.
For sure. That's it.
Thank you, Ashit. Bye.
What is up, Chess YouTube? So, as we saw in the video now by the esteemed Grandmaster and International Masters from Chess Base India, this fascinating endgame between Stremavicious and Wesley So, that Wesley just recently resigned. That's I wanted to add some of my own thoughts to it. Most of it will probably be quite similar to what the top players discussed there, but mine won't be as in depth. I'll try and give my views on as well. So at first glance, this looks like white is totally winning, right? That the slide square bishop can hold down the fort here, stopping black's pawns from promoting, and the king just simply running up, picking up these pawns, and he has a passed pawn. This bishop looks very strong on this diagonal, which is true, but black actually can save the game. So I want to show you how from this perspective. So a lot of it will be similar to what the Grandmasters discussed now, but maybe if I can share my thoughts, it also helps for understanding, right? For the beginner player, the 12, 1300 rated player. So firstly, as we can see, at the moment, all black's pawns are on the dark squares, right? In this analysis, I won't really be discussing this section that the Grandmaster and I am did. Um, I want to stick to this because as this position stands right now, in its original position, this is a draw. So there was analysis that they did, of course, where if you took B takes A, where if the pawn was there and the king could run, white would be winning. Yes, but I just want to show this portion of it. So black has pawns on the dark squares at the moment, right? And his h1 pawn will promote on a light square. This is where the bishop is, of course, right? On a light square. But of course, these pawns are passes and they're strong, right? This is why it's actually a draw, because it shows the strength of the pass pawns. But it's not that easy, right? Especially when you have a minute, as Wesley did on the clock. So I want us to go over this quickly. Is black's move, and black has a couple of saving moves. You can either play h4, h5 as the engine shows, or g5. So I'm going to show you why these moves draw and why king to f5 loses. So let's start with why king to f5 loses. King to f5 loses then because white suddenly is able to run into f3, and now once white plays king f3, how's black saving this pawn? You can't lose this pawn because if you lose this pawn, let's say you run there, white takes. You think you're in time to get there, but now I just do this. He comes here and bishop to d5. It's GG's. There's no way you're catching him. You just run up to g8. So that's why. And then, of course, the white king's going to come in here and gobble up here on a5 and b4. So this is why if we go back to the starting position, king f4 loses, right? So if king f4, f5, sorry, f5 loses. So let's see why the other moves draw. The answer is simple. If king to h5, or let's even say g5, you go to f3, well, you are in time with king to h4. And suddenly, a sort of Zuswang exists. Not a real losing Zuswang, but it's white that has to make the move now. That pushes the king. King to h to f4, and black has only move queen to h1. I mean, h1 promoting to a queen. Any other move loses here. If you go here, of course, you out-shouldered and you lose your pawns, and it's the same story. The king runs here and GG's. So you kind of have to distract the bishop. You promote, and the reason why you play h1 promoting to a queen is to get the bishop away from g2 so that you can put your king on h3. So if you go here now, king to h2, bishop to g2, and you have the stalemate idea of king to g1. If you take, of course, stalemate, you can't move anywhere, the pawns are blocked. White might say, okay, I go here. You might play there. Then suddenly you are winning if you move your king away from your bishop's defense. Look at that, because now here, simply going to promote your passed pawn. White's way too far, can't even stop that one. I think even without this pawn in this position here, white would be winning. Let's say like this. Yeah, white would still be winning here. I'm doing this without the g3 pawn. Here, and you would, of course, just run this down. You're making your queen first, a6 and b1. So this is why, in this idea here with king to g1, let's just go back here. Wait, that was the f3 idea, right? We go here, you will go bishop, you must go bishop h3. In fact, there's no other move here unless you take on g3. So to prolong the game, you go bishop h3. And of course, you don't play here because you lose again. You must guard your pawn on h2, so you go up. You go bishop f1. Again, you can come down to g1, right? Because if he goes up, you go king to h2, you guard the pawn. Of course, here again, if he takes on g3, you take there, and you're going to get here quicker. Because here, you think white is in time, but he can't play king to c3 because you have a pawn on b4. Suddenly, he goes up. You say, not a problem. You can go here, I think. Either square is fine, either c2 or b2. Goes here, you take, he takes, and it's the same concept from earlier. You're running down, I mean, a5, b2, a6, b1 with queen, and that's how you save the game. So that's about it, really, with this analysis, eh? You just got to make sure at the start you do not play king to f5. That's the only losing move here. Any other move draws. If you go here, for instance, you go there, you must play h1 again. He goes there, you go king to h3, bishop g2. Do not go up. If you go up here, it's bad because now the king can run here, and suddenly black doesn't have enough time because now it's not like you're attacking the bishop immediately. You first have to go around. So by the time you go king g4, king f4, king e3, king f2, white's already gobbled up all your pawns and they'll have a passed a pawn. So you go here. It's important here now. You go here, you go here. If you go here, it's actually drawn again, right? I think. No, it's still winning here because of this extra tempi. Here. If you go here, you don't take here. Otherwise, you're losing. You go bishop anywhere. Because if he goes here, of course, you just take, king takes, and of course, white is now simply just winning. But there is a way here that in this position here, if you go here, if white decides to run here, for instance, you go here, he can never run too far away. He can never run too far to gobble up these pawns, and I'll show you why. If he goes here, for instance, thinking he's got it, you go here, white's going for the win. The importance here in this setup is the king f2 square. If black gets the king to f2, if white gets to greed and says, okay, he thinks he can win these pawns and promote, no, sir, because if you go here, that's the only saving way to get opposition back. If you go too deep, king to b5, for example, suddenly black's winning because now king to e3, You take king to f2, and let's say here, suddenly just g2 takes, king takes. You are not in time. This is a winning endgame for white, for black, a5, queen there, king to f2, and you probably just play queen to c6 out of play queen to a8 is also fine, I guess. It goes here. You bring your king up, of course. He thinks he's got passes, but this doesn't work. In fact, instead of that, could even, if you wanted to, you could do this. You're still not gonna make it. You just bring the king up. You bring this guy up. It's not working. Very simple. Win this. You give a check. The king drops. You come in here. Yeah, this is about mating a couple of moves here. Check down here. Mate's coming. Yeah, and checkmate. So yeah, guys, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. It was quite a short one for me. The Grandmasters, they did a much more thorough one, but I thought I'd add my own little thoughts to it. Probably a lot of it's similar to this, but I mean, because of the ideas, right? But I hope my explanation also helped a bit. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like, give a sub, and let me know who you guys think is going to win this World Cup in Goa. It's getting tight. The 2700s are falling. But yeah, drop a like, give a comment below, and do sub. See you guys soon, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.